Hello, welcome back to another video, and this is about sports, and well, I'm just gonna cover NFL, NBA, MLB, and some others and some other games that happened. So let's go ahead and start with the NFL, and as you can see, some of these games over here, the Packers and the Saints, very anticipated matchup, but the Packers pull away 37-30, and the Packers become undefeated as they are 3-0, and the Saints go to 1-2 as they fall behind. Breeze didn't look very good in that game. His arm looked weird. But moving on to the Cowboys and the Seahawks, that was a great game as the Seahawks pull away with that victory, 38-31. Seahawks are now 3-0. Cowboys go to 1-2. The Lions and the Cardinals, this was, I'd say, the upset of the week. And the Lions just pulled away 26-23. Now the Bucks and the Broncos. Broncos projected to beat a sleeper team, but are actually 0-3 as the Buccaneers move on and win that one as they go to 2-1. Panthers and the Chargers. Okay, I'm a Chargers fan. What can I say about the Chargers? Well, I know they're gonna have a sucky year. Panthers go to 1-2. Teddy Bridgewater looked very good in that game. And the Jets and the Colts, as the Colts absolutely rout the Jets 36-7. And well, Jets a sorry team, and they suck. They suck. Well, at least you're probably gonna get the number one pick in the draft, but yeah, they suck. Texans Steelers. Texans fall behind at 0-3 as the Steelers move on to win that one 28-21. Steelers 3-0. I'm a bit shocked on that one. Bengals and Eagles, they tie 23-23. That's the first tie of the year. As we move on from that one and going to the 49ers and the Giants, as the 49ers absolutely rout the Giants 36-9. 49ers go to 2-1, even with those injured players, Richard Sherman, Dee Ford, Nick Bosa out for the year. Then you got Raheem Mostert, Jimmy G, and a couple others that I forget. Solomon Thomas torn his ACL. But yeah, that sucked for them. Raiders, Patriots. 36-20 Patriots. I'm actually not very surprised, but it seems like Cam is doing well in the Patriots uniform as the Patriots go to 2-1 and the Raiders also go to 2-1. Titans and the Vikings, 31-30. Titans win that one as yeah. And if anybody plays fantasy, comment it down below. And the kicker of the Titans got 25 points. That's insane. That's almost a record, actually. Washington football team, hard to believe. And the Cleveland Browns, they win 34-20. And fun fact, Browns are over 500 in the first 3 games since 2014. So good for them, but I still think they're trash, honestly. Rams and the Bills. Bills are looking legit as they beat the Rams, who almost came back. The Rams actually almost came back in that game. But the Bills pull away by field goal, and they win that one. Bears, Falcons. That was, wow. Nick Foles, wow. The Bears were losing 26-10, and then Nick Foles steps in and leads the Bears to victory, and they're undefeated. They're still trash. They're not going to win the division. They're still trash. I don't care what anybody says. And the Falcons just not looking good. Dolphins, Jags. Dolphins beat the Jags in Thursday night, 31-13. Dolphins to 1-2. Jags to 1-2. And right here, as you can see, a live game. The Chiefs and the Ravens Monday Night Football. Seems like the Chiefs got a touchdown. Yeah, Kansas City rushing touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Oh no, Patrick Mahomes to the right end for 3 yards and a touchdown. And it seems like Harrison Butker made the extra point. So it's 7-3. Well, let's move on to the NBA. And yes, the NBA finals are set. they are set. As the Heat outlast the Celtics 125-113 to win the Eastern Conference pennant and go to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2014. Well, that's pretty much it for the NBA. Just that's going to be a highly anticipated matchup between the Heat and the Lakers. I want the Heat to win. I like the Heat. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Udonis Haslam, Andre Iguodala. I want those guys to win. I just want them to win so bad. As I like LeBron. I I just don't want to hear this GOAT talk. MJ's the GOAT. MJ's the GOAT. I think Michael Jordan pulled away. Moving on to the MLB, where we have the MLB playoffs set. As the American League Wildcard Series, the matchup versus the 1 seed and the 8 seed, and the 8 seed is Toronto. As Tampa is the 1 seed, and Tampa is the favorite to win this series. But keep in mind that this is a divisional matchup and that anything could happen. So who knows? Toronto could upset the Rays, and the Rays are out of the postseason, just like you know it. Then the A's and the White Sox. That should be the best series, I think, because the White Sox were either going to be the 1 seed or they were going to be the 7th seed, which sounds kind of nuts, but yes. And they fell into the 7th seed, going up versus the Oakland A's, who are a very good team. But I just don't know. The A's are more of an up and down team because they were very up and down in this season because they couldn't hit. Like, they had one of the worst averages in the MLB in scoring position with runners on scoring position. So that's not a very good stat. And I think, and the White Sox, they have some pretty good rotation in there. So who knows? White Sox could pull away. But for now, I think it's safe to say that the A's should be favorite in this series. All right, the Minnesota Twins versus the Houston Cheaters. I don't know. Astros didn't look very good this year. Jose Altuve, very underwhelming. Bregman injured. Verlander injured. So I think Minnesota should be favorite for this series. Indians and the Yankees. Okay. The Yankees are the Yankees. I think the Yankees should win the series, and they should be favorite to win the series, to be completely honest. Indians, they don't look that stacked as they used to. I mean, they lost their prime, Jason Kipnis. Like, he used to be in his prime, and he was really good. But Lindor is probably going to be gone, and they're going to have to enter in a rebuild mode soon. And I just still think the Yankees should be favorite, and they're probably going to win that series. But once again, who knows? It's baseball. National League Wildcard Series. Dodgers versus the Brewers. Brewers 8th seed, Dodgers 1 seed. What can I say about this matchup? Well, I think it's safe to say that the Dodgers are the favorites for sure. As I'm a Padres fan, I do not like the Dodgers at all. I don't. And moving on to the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds series, which is an intriguing matchup because the Reds, they honestly don't have a bad team. They have a pretty good team. Jesse Winker, who had a nice year. Nick Castellanos, a nice year. And I think he did pretty well, if I'm being completely honest. And moving on, although the Braves should be favored by they should be favored by a bit. Chicago Cubs and the Miami Marlins. Marlins. It's the Cubs versus the Marlins. I mean, the Cubs could get revenge. I'm not surprised if they do. I mean, Cubs have a good team. Ian Happ, in a very good year, was one of the front runners for MVP, or at least in that conversation. And, well, their rotation is really nice as they got Kyle Hendricks, John Lester, and Yu Darvish, who has actually had a nice year, a very good year, in fact. And moving on to that series, although the Cubs should be favorites, don't sleep on the Marlins. Why? They're starting rotation, and they have some good players that can hit, as which they have Brian Anderson, Garrett Cooper, as Dribble Cabrera could still hit, Cervelli could still hit. I mean, Jazz Chisholm had a nice year. So don't sleep on the Marlins, and don't be surprised if they win the series. But for now, it's safe to say that the Cubs are the favorites. The Padres and the Cardinals. All right, I want to get into this one. Come on, Padres. Let's go. Come on. Just win this series. Padres should be favorites, as the Cardinals don't have a great starting rotation, and which has been surprising with guys like Jack Flaherty and Wainwright in his old days, but he could still pitch. But Jack Flaherty just doesn't look comfortable, and hasn't been this year at all. Meanwhile, the Padres starting rotation: Lamet, Davies, Clevenger, and they have all been doing great this year. And then you got the hitting, in which you have like 7 players in the Padres hitting higher than the batting, like actual average, hitting higher than the average, which is great. Will Myers, Profar, Mitchy Two Bags, Mitch Moreland, Machado, Tatis, and some others that I forget are in that conversation. And yeah, that is it. Now moving on to the NHL. Yes, the NHL, and which case, honestly, the the Stanley Cup Finals. mm, Interesting. It hasn't disappointed, honestly, as they're playing right now 0-0. Tampa Bay leads the series 3-2. But look, the Stars could come back. They have some pretty good players, but yeah, as this thing says, Corey Perry has been struggling. But I'm not very sure who's favorite in this game. I really don't know. But although Tampa could take the title today, but the Stars could force a game 7. So I honestly don't know. I really don't know what this matchup is gonna look like. I'm not a huge fan of the NHL, to be completely honest. And let's go to college football, as college football has started. And it's week 4 over there. Alabama beats Missouri 38-19, not surprised. Kansas State, a huge upset, as Kansas State comes back 24 unanswered points, and they come back to beat the third ranked team in the country, in Oklahoma, and with a huge upset, as Georgia, the fourth ranked Georgia beats Arkansas 37-10. Number 5 Florida beats Ole Miss 51-35. That was actually a pretty close game. And Mississippi State with the upset, beating LSU 44-34. LSU isn't as strong as they were with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and some others. Kentucky and Auburn, both teams ranked in the poll. 23rd Kentucky, 8th Auburn, and Auburn beats them 29-13. Texas versus Texas Tech, and a very high-scoring game there. Not surprised, college football is full of high-scoring games. As the number 8 Texas, 63-56, pulls away and gets the W. Vandy versus Texas A&M, as they're ranked 10, and Texas A&M wins 17-12. Florida State and Miami, 52-10. 12th ranked Miami beats Florida State. UCF versus East Carolina, 51-28 UCF. 22 Army and 14th ranked Cincinnati battle it out. And Cincinnati gets the win there. Not surprised, but Cincinnati's honestly a pretty good team. Don't sleep on Cincinnati. 24-10 Cincinnati with the win. They're 2-0. Army falls to 2-1. West Virginia and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State. That's. I saw this game. That was a really good game, honestly. Even though it was pretty close. It should have been a blowout. West Virginia somehow found a couple of ways to stay in the game. Sometimes 27-13, Oklahoma State. Tennessee and South Carolina, 31-27. That was a good game. Troy and BYU, 48-7, a blowout there. And a close game in the Sun Belt Conference as Georgia Southern loses to 19th ranked Louisiana, 20-18. And NC State versus Virginia Tech, as Virginia Tech is ranked 20th, but they beat NC State 45-24. 24 Louisville, 21 Pitt, and Pitt wins 23-20. As that's the first time that they have gotten undefeated in their first 3 games since 2013. And this game was postponed between Notre Dame and Wake Forest. Well, that is it for today's Sports Talk episode. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.